Good afternoon. As the Dean of the College of Engineering, it's my pleasure to welcome you, as well as those watching on our live feed, as we recognize the College of Engineering Spring 2019 Baccalaureate class. We're here today to celebrate the achievements and experiences of our graduates, and to set the stage, we have a short video which was prepared by the President's Office entitled Celebrate Iowa. So please look up at the monitors.
Iowa is unlike any other place I've ever been to. Everyone has a story here.
It inspired me and changed the way I think, even to this day.
So very special things.
There's such a good environment for collaboration and learning. I want to make sure wherever I end up next has the same sort of thing.
I was fortunate enough to find my passion while I was at Iowa. I hope other students do as well.
Everybody here at the University of Iowa wants to help you succeed.
It made me feel confident that I could do about anything.
I'm really excited to begin applying what I've been learning the past 4 years.
Relationships are extremely important, and the friendships that I made here are endless.
What surprised me is how quickly I found myself referring to this place as home.
Being a Hawkeye, you take a lot of pride in the people around you and all the great things that they're doing, and you just know that you're a part of that group.
Go Hawks! Hey, go Hawks!
Even when I go home and visit my friends, I'm always in Iowa gear, and I think I've even rubbed off on my family because anytime they see Herky or anything related to Iowa, I always get a Snapchat or a text about it.
The classes that I took at Iowa really helped me find my path, and now I'm just excited to actually get on that path.
It's not just a moment in time where you're a Hawkeye, but it transcends generations.
You never really forget about Iowa, and Iowa never really forgets about you.
Once a Hawkeye, always a Hawkeye, and wherever you live, we still have that bond that brings us together.
Now I will introduce our platform officials. When I call your name, please stand. Melissa Shivers, Vice President for Student Life. Keynote speaker and Distinguished Engineering Alumni Academy inductee, Eric Keene, Chairman and CEO of HDR. Antonio Washington, Student Speaker, Electrical Engineering. You'll have more chance to applaud later, yes? Joseph Reinhardt, Professor and Chair of the Roy J. Carver Department of Biomedical Engineering. Alan Guyman, Professor and Chair of Chemical and Biochemical Engineering. Alan Bradley, Professor and Chair of Civil and Environmental Engineering. Gary Christensen, Professor of Electrical and Computer Engineering. Geb Thomas, Professor and Chair of Industrial and Systems Engineering. Chenglong Lin, Professor and Chair of Mechanical Engineering. Jane Dorman, Director of Admissions. And the Marshal, who led the graduates, Professor Nicole Grossland, Associate Dean of Academic Programs. Today, we celebrate an important point in the life of our graduates and the beginning of new challenges that will draw upon the knowledge and experiences they've gained as students here at the University of Iowa. Our graduates are well prepared to meet the challenges and opportunities they will encounter as engineers, and we take pride in their accomplishments. As a small token of our appreciation for their hard work and dedication, we've given each graduate a medallion symbolic of their accomplishments. Let me name just a few of the specific accomplishments of this graduating class. 192 graduates completed the requirements for minors. 187 received credit for co-op or internship experiences. 40 will receive university honors. 33 students will graduate with distinction. 19 will graduate with a certificate. 13 students will graduate with a double major. 11 completed the requirements for honors in the major, and 7 were presidents of engineering student organizations. 5 served the college as student ambassadors. 5 were academic peer advisors. 4 were engineering lead tutors. 2 were engineering grand challenges scholars, and 2 served as professional development peer advisors. Finally, many of our graduates have been actively involved in student organizations, while others have been involved in academic research. Some of these graduates have enriched our community through their volunteer efforts, while many have studied abroad. Others have worked to fund their own education, and some are the first in their family to receive a college degree. We also take great pride in our students who have served in the armed forces, and I invite the veterans in our graduating class to rise, and the veterans in our audience to rise to receive our appreciation. The accomplishments and academic achievements of the graduates build from the devotion of talented faculty. This semester, the graduating seniors from each program selected a faculty member to be recognized today for their excellence in teaching and dedication to student learning. So faculty, as I call your name, please come up to the center of the stage to be recognized and remain until we've recognized all of you. Seth Dillard, biomedical engineering. Eric Nuxel, chemical and biochemical engineering. Christopher Stokes, civil and environmental engineering. Guadalupe Canahuante of electrical and computer engineering. Ruben Beltran del Rio, industrial and systems engineering. Philip Derling, mechanical engineering. Well, let's recognize all of them one more time and thank them for their dedication. Antonio Washington is an electrical engineering major from Naperville, Illinois. During his time at the University of Iowa, he has participated in organizations such as the Society of Hispanic Professional Engineers, as well as the Institute of Electrical and Electronic Engineers. With the Society of Hispanic Professional Engineers, he has coordinated an annual event called Noche de Cientes, promoting STEM fields to grades K through 12. He spent his junior year studying abroad in England, and in his senior year, he served as a teaching assistant. Antonio is going into his 5th year at the University of Iowa as a master's student, following an internship with Collins Aerospace, designing a machine learning embedded system for pilots. He also has worked as a cooperative education student with Intel. I'm delighted to introduce Antonio Washington as a student speaker today.
Testing. Testing. Is that better? Yeah. Thank you, Dean Scranton, for that wonderful, wonderful welcome. And hello to my fellow engineers, graduating engineers. Class of 2019, how does it feel to be done with finals forever? Class of 2019, how does it feel to be done with finals forever? Thank you. First, I want to express my gratitude to be able to be up here and represent each of you. And to best represent each of you, I want to take this opportunity to plug my LinkedIn account. My name is Antonio Washington. Feel free to connect with me now or at the end of the ceremony. Remember, guys, networking is everything. No, but really, I'm up here to share with you some ideas that I've gathered from talking to seniors of all different walks of life. Ideas that transcend what we learned in our school, transcend just academics, because I know we've learned plenty about the maths, plenty about the sciences, we know all about derivatives, I'd hope by now, but rather, these are things that we can take home with us, lessons that everybody in the audience can take from as well. We are capable of great things, often even greater than we even expect of ourselves. And it can be terribly intimidating to be around a bunch of smart and talented engineers, which is why it's important that we each view ourselves as one of those smart and talented engineers. Know that we each belong here, and us graduating here today is proof of that. And it was hard with the countless hours that we've put in and the weekends that we've lost in the engineering building as if it was our second home, which I know it was for me. But there's no better feeling than being able to put the final nail in a project or being able to present something that you're truly proud of. And here's a lesson that I've learned from my parents. Time is fleeting, so take every opportunity that you can while you have that chance. And here's something about my personal life. I studied in London for my junior year, and that meant that I would be away from my family, away from my friends for an entire year. That was terrifying to me. It meant that I might not be graduating on time, might not be here right now. But being able to take that opportunity meant that I met so many incredible people, meant that I met people who are watching in Australia right now. I met people who are in Germany who are still in my everyday life. The memories that I've made everything worth it. So please, take every opportunity that you can. And there will be times where you will have a plan, and that plan will just blow up in your face. That can be, say, a test that you've studied for the past week for and you just didn't get as great of a grade as you wanted, or a project that you've spent all year on, and once it comes down to demos, it just decides it doesn't want to work because you know whenever it needs to work is when it doesn't want to work. Or it could say you go into industry and you're working at your dream job and you find that maybe this isn't for me. That's okay. Take each misstep that you have in your life and learn from it. Because a life without those challenges is a life without pushing yourself. So become comfortable with the idea of being uncomfortable. And finally, what may be most important is finding your passion. Find what your passion is. And it can be anything because it's different for everyone. It can be your day-to-day work, that's fine. Or it could be that quilting club that you go to on Wednesdays. But whatever it is, find your passion and fill your life with that. Better yet, fill your life with other passionate people. Because what I've found is that that passion is contagious and it'll help fuel you in your everyday life. And personally, there's no better feeling than being able to share my passion or somebody else's with them, and nothing makes me happier. So keep in mind that these ideas that I've shared with you, these concepts, don't come purely from me. They're from other seniors, they're from other peers and parents, people that I've talked to just to get some perspective. But if we were to boil it all down into these few points, we know. Remember your self-worth. Remember to trust yourself. and to follow your passion. My name is Antonio Washington. Vote Washington 2020 for IEEE President. Shout out Mom, shout out Dad, shout out to my favorite sister. You can decide which one that is. Thank you for your time.
Well, thank you very much, Antonio, for those very inspiring words. Outstanding. Next, I'll present the Outstanding Senior Award, which is selected by the Engineering Student Council and is presented to graduates who demonstrate exceptional character, an affinity to lifelong learning, and are active, engaged, and well-respected members of the University of Iowa College of Engineering and the campus as a whole. The award is chosen based on nominations received from current faculty members and students alike, and it'll be a surprise to someone in the room today when they receive this award. So there's hints as I read a profile of this student. So this year's recipient was described by his nominator as tremendously committed, collaborative, pleasant, and easy to work with. He is an extremely hardworking student who is dedicated to helping first and second year students succeed through his supplemental instruction, leadership for Math 1 and 2. Along with being on the Dean's list for 6 semesters, he has received the Champions for Success Award twice for helping first-year students. Along with his academic accomplishment, this graduate is involved in extracurricular activities such as volunteering at the hospital in the burn trauma unit, and he has received the UIHC Making a Difference Award twice for his service. He's also been involved in Dance Marathon to provide financial and emotional support for pediatric oncology patients and their families at the Stead Family Children's Hospital. So I'm very pleased to announce the recipient of this year's Outstanding Senior Award, Michael Phillips. And yeah, that is a cue to come up onto the stage too, Michael. Yeah, you can applaud while he's coming up on the stage if you like. Yeah. Congratulations. Thank you so much. You may note that some of our graduates are wearing regalia, signifying their membership in student organizations and honor societies. These organizations provide invaluable opportunities for leadership, fellowship, service, professional development, and would these students wearing any type of regalia please rise so that we can recognize you. Thank you. Now we'll recognize students who will be earning honors. Graduates, please stand if you're earning university honors and/or honors in the major, honors in engineering. And while they're rising out, let me tell you a little bit about it, and then we'll recognize them. So university honors is earned through a combination of honors coursework and other enrichment activities, such as research, study abroad, and internships. Engineering honor students complete research under the guidance of a faculty member, culminating in the submission of an honors thesis. Let's recognize these honors students. Distinction for graduate students means that these students have finished in the top 10% of all students in the College of Engineering as measured by grade point average. Would students receiving or graduating with distinction please rise? And I'll tell you about what the level of stars mean. So the levels of distinction are indicated by stars on the gown and in the commencement program as follows. 3 stars designates highest distinction, the top 2% of students. 2 stars designates high distinction, the next 3%, and 1 star designates distinction, which is the next 5%. So let's congratulate these students for the outstanding academic record. Thank you. Next, we'll recognize graduates who have completed the requirements for certificates in clinical and translational science, large data analysis, naval hydrodynamics, sustainability, technological entrepreneurship, wind energy, or writing. Would students receiving any of these certificates please rise? So these students have completed a series of courses to provide them with depth of understanding in a specialized area that complements the engineering curriculum and prepares them for success in the 21st century. Finally, would the Grand Challenges Scholars please stand? So the Engineering Grand Challenge Scholars Program prepares students to tackle key problems that our society will face in the coming century. To cultivate a new generation of engineers ready to confront these challenges, our faculty have developed a comprehensive program of curricular and extracurricular requirements, and our program was the 7th in the nation to be certified by the National Academy of Engineering. Very few students nationwide complete these extensive requirements to become a Grand Challenge Scholar. Let's congratulate this student for completing these requirements. Next, I am delighted to introduce alumnus Eric Keene, who will deliver the charge to the graduates and will be inducted into our Distinguished Engineering Alumni Academy. Mr. Keene received his BS in Civil Engineering from the University of Iowa in 1979, and in 1993 he began his career at HDR, an engineering architecture, environmental, and construction services firm with nearly 10,000 employees in over 200 offices across the globe. Throughout his time at HDR, Eric has steadily risen through the ranks and assumed greater responsibilities. He led the company offices in Anchorage, Phoenix, Southern California at different times, and as the Transportation Business Group Director beginning in 2004, he worked on major transportation infrastructure projects such as the Whittier Access Project on the Prince William Sound, Alaska, the Legacy Parkway Project in Salt Lake City, Utah, and the world-renowned Hoover Dam Bypass Project. Mr. Keene became CEO of HDR in 2017 after serving as President and Chief Operating Officer. Eric Keene is active in many professional and civic groups and led the creation of the HDR Foundation, an employee-funded and administered charitable giving organization that benefits the communities where the firm's employees live and work. Since its inception in 2012, the HDR Foundation has awarded nearly $2 million to 90 charitable organizations across the United States. Also note that Eric's son, well, he has a lot of family members here, but Eric's son, Adam Keene, is also a University of Iowa Civil Engineering alumnus and is here today. There's a number of family members sitting off to our right. So, yeah, let's... So Eric will start by inducting you into the Distinguished Engineering Alumni Academy, just to recognize your contributions you've made to the country and to the world through this remarkable career that I'm sure you're not done yet. But please come up and we'll induct you and present you with the certificate. So, Eric, I'm looking forward to hearing your charge to the graduates.
Thank you, Dean. Well, I'm certainly thrilled to be here back at the University of Iowa and so honored to really recognize all of you as my fellow alums here shortly. It's hard for me to believe that it's been over 40 years since I've been sitting where you're sitting today. So when people tell you that it goes fast, I would say you better believe them, because it does. Even though it's been, admittedly, been a while since I sat in your chair, I would tell you that I think the emotions that you're feeling, I felt the same way. Excited, eager to begin your career, your profession. Ready, itching to shed that college skin that you all have, that we all developed, and that being able to go on and see where life takes us in our profession, or perhaps even continuing our education. And certainly anxious, but most certainly it's about what lies ahead, that uncertainty that we all face. So you're about to embark on an incredible journey, one that I'm sure will be filled with many, many highs, and of course, a few lows along the way. And I know it can be scary, exciting, and at times even nerve-wracking. But I'll tell you, you're in for a remarkable ride. You're entering a profession at an incredible time. Our world is desperately in need of your knowledge and skills. Our built environment is inadequate, really, to handle the world that we have and the future ahead of us. You have the opportunity to change how we design and build the systems of the future by leveraging technology. So think about it. Think about some of the amazing engineering we do and has been done, but we've done it in the same way over the last 100 years. And there's a reason for that, of course. We continue to do it the same way because, of course, it's tried and true, and it's safe. And of course, safety is important above all else. It's our top priority. The other reason is that we repeatedly do things the same fashion because we haven't always had the tools to re-engineer or implement smart systems that are dynamically built and can respond and react to the environment by which they were designed for. Just think about things like machine learning and artificial intelligence and how they can change the design process so that those systems can respond and evolve. Yes, evolve. During your careers, you will design and implement systems that change and respond to the changing environmental conditions that they experience. Instead of just designing static systems, you will design dynamic systems. This will bring another magnitude of complexity to the design process and will emerge engineering and computer technology in ways that yet we have not even thought of. Artificial intelligence, virtual reality, machine learning, 3D printing. These are just a few of the many things that our profession will end up turning on its head in terms of how our business is done. But we've just started to come on the cusp of understanding how this will apply. And so I'm very excited for you, and quite honestly, a little envious, because you will be at the forefront of this revolution. You have the opportunity to lead this change. And of course, with great opportunity comes great responsibility. And I'm sure by now you're familiar with the canons of our profession. As engineers, we hold the safety and welfare of the public above all else. We commit to being objective and truthful, and we swear to be and act honestly and ethically. And I have no doubt that you will rise to the occasion and continue to uphold these standards, the things that have made the title professional engineer such a coveted one in our society. But as you embark on your career, I suggest that there's one more responsibility you need to consider. And that is the responsibility you have to yourself as a young engineer to seek out a career that aligns with your personal sense of purpose. So let me explain. As I mentioned many years ago, I started and I sat where you were. I was excited to begin my career and I continued my education. I worked hard to become a professional engineer by seeking out opportunities to learn and by taking new and different assignments that demonstrated my technical skills and expanded my experience. But I was not thinking about the importance of purpose, not until I interviewed, or how I even interviewed with other companies. Purpose wasn't at the heart of what I thought was necessary for my career and my success. So was I successful? Sure. As I continued to advance and I was given increasing responsibility, I was telling you there was something missing. And it wasn't until many years later that I realized that what was missing was a sense of purpose. Some of you may be familiar with a gentleman by the name of Simon Sinek. He's a management and organizational strategist who talks a lot about this concept. And if you're not familiar with him, I'd encourage you to go to Google and Google some of his TED Talks. And what he says, this is really in a nutshell. Most people in organizations, they understand what they do and they understand how they do it. But truly great organizations also understand why they do it. And the why, that's our purpose. That's what inspires us all to get out of bed every morning and continue to improve upon what we do. Purpose is what makes a career more than just a job. And we spend a lot of time at HDR, even though we're a large organization, we still talk about this concept of purpose. We're united by two things. First, broad-based employee ownership. Over 94% of our employees own a stake in HDR. But secondly, and more importantly, is this common sense of purpose. We believe that our purpose as an organization and as professionals is to improve the human condition. Now, we know there's an important correlation between the human condition and the work we do. And this correlation answers the question of why we exist. In fact, our promise statement summarizes our purpose. At HDR, we do things right to make great things possible. When we say that our purpose is to make great things possible, these are the great things we're talking about, the things that improve the human condition. And I can't tell you how fortunate I am to work for an organization that fulfills my sense of purpose. It's made the latter half of my career so rich and so rewarding. Now, all of you will take different paths. Some of you will work for professional consulting firms like I do. Others of you will contribute your talents perhaps for the public sector or industry. And still others of you will use your skills in ways you don't even know yet. No matter what you do, I'm certain that you will have a profound impact on our society, on our profession, and on each and every person that you touch. And so today, as you look to the future, I ask that you reflect on your sense of purpose and put it at the core of what's important to you. Use my experience and learn from it. Because someday in the not too distant future, you'll look back on a remarkable career and you'll look at all the details of what you did and how you did it. And remember, those are just the details. But the why, well, that's what makes this all worthwhile. So thank you for your time this afternoon, and best wishes to each and every one of you on a career filled with purpose. Thank you.
Fantastic words of wisdom. So graduates, I think there's someone else that we should recognize and show our appreciation to today. Some people who have, I'm sure, been constant support, our constant source of support and encouragement, and it's especially appropriate since it's Mother's Day. But let's stand and recognize our mothers, fathers, grandparents, aunts, uncles, brothers and sisters. People are here today to help us celebrate. Thank you. Well, now I guess is the moment we've been waiting for. Dr. Melissa Shivers, Vice President for Student Life, will now confer the Bachelor of Science in Engineering degrees on our graduating students. So will the candidates for the degree Bachelor of Science in Engineering please rise? Vice President Shivers, these candidates, having completed all of the requirements for the degree of Bachelor of Science in Engineering, are recommended to you by the faculty of the College of Engineering for conferring of this degree.
On recommendation of the faculty of the College of Engineering.
Hold on, is that mic on? Why don't you come to this mic? Sorry, this is important.
We are going to get these degrees conferred. Don't you at all worry about it. On recommendation of the faculty of the College of Engineering and by the authority vested in me by the Board of Regents, State of Iowa, I confer on each of you the degree Bachelor of Science in Engineering as qualified and designated.
All right, graduates, you may be seated. Next, we will individually recognize the recipients of the engineering baccalaureate degrees. Vice President Shivers will join me in offering our congratulations to each graduate, and feel free to applaud whenever you're moved to. This is a day of celebration. Jane Dorman will introduce each degree candidate individually, and Jane is the College of Engineering Director of Admissions, and she met with most of these students when they joined the college and has mentored many of them through the years. Therefore, it's particularly fitting that Jane will introduce them as they receive their degrees here at commencement. Yeah, we'll need that one on because Jane will have to stand over there.
There we go. Will the new biomedical engineering graduates please rise and assemble on this side of the platform? Professor and Department Executive Officer Joe Reinhardt will represent the biomedical engineering department. Congratulations. Alyssa Alexander. Congratulations. Kirsten Anderson. Leah Barrett with University Honors. Madeline Beauchene with highest distinction and University Honors. Congratulations. Brandon Bettis. Congratulations. Oops. Grant Billimack. Congratulations. Adam Flatter. Congratulations. Michael Bielecki. Congratulations. Brandon Blythe. Congratulations. Aaron Timothy Buelow with distinction and with University Honors. Nicholas Burgio. Congratulations. Nicholas Caputo. Arabella Reina Castillo, with a minor in mathematics.
Congratulations.
Sandra Haiti Castillo, Grand Challenges Scholar.
Congratulations.
Theresa Chapdelaine.
Congratulations.
Rachel Jeane Cron.
Congratulations.
James Owen Corey, with the Technological Entrepreneurship Certificate.
Congratulations.
Henry Conlin.
Congratulations.
Dylan Cook.
Congratulations.
Yuen Chen, with a minor in mathematics and a minor in computer science.
Congratulations.
Abigail Evelyn Ammon, with a minor in human physiology.
Congratulations.
Anne Elizabeth Cahill.
Congratulations.
Catherine Cable.
Congratulations.
Andrea Felstuhl, with university honors and a minor in Spanish. Mary Farley, with a minor in Spanish.
Congratulations.
Gregory James Dirk, with university honors. Nicholas Dubloy, with high distinction and university honors.
Congratulations.
Matthew Randall Green, with the minor in mathematics.
Congratulations.
Jesse Hayworth, with university honors.
Congratulations.
Anna Della Torre.
Congratulations.
Shay Mlinovich.
Congratulations.
William Harrich.
Congratulations.
Timothy Kevin Holmes.
Congratulations.
Michael Hudacek, with a second major in computer science.
Congratulations.
Jianwei Hu, with minors in mathematics and computer science.
Congratulations.
Charles William Harris, Jr., with a minor in mathematics.
Congratulations.
James Heniatis.
Congratulations.
Ashley Hoffman, with university honors and a minor in computer science. Abby Heisted.
Congratulations.
Emily Kagan.
You can hug that.
Wyatt Class. Anna Kyle, with minors in computer science and mathematics and a writing certificate.
Congratulations.
Zoheb Khan, with a minor in computer science.
Congratulations.
Austin Michael Lauders, with a second major in computer science and engineering.
Congratulations.
Cheng Li.
Congratulations.
Matthew Robert Little, with a minor in mathematics.
Congratulations.
Nicholas Laterio, with a minor in computer science.
Congratulations.
Brenna Marks.
All right.
Tia McCoy.
Just first and last? Okay.
Isaac Moore. Congratulations. Marissa Christina Mortari. Congratulations. Katelyn Lee Mortenson with University Honors and a minor in microbiology. Congratulations. Logan Muckenhirn. Congratulations. Austin John Nash with minors in mathematics and German. Congratulations. Jacob Nardoni. Congratulations. Marco Antonio Nino with a minor in mathematics. Claire Elizabeth O'Connell with highest distinction, University Honors, a minor in computer science, and a clinical and translational science certificate. Allison Persing with University Honors and a minor in Spanish. Rachel Peterson with a minor in psychology. Congratulations. Michael Phillips with University Honors, a minor in mathematics, and the Graduating Senior Award. Congratulations, Mia Polaksic with highest distinction and a minor in mathematics. Congratulations. Ellie Lehmann with University Honors and a minor in mathematics. Maya Marie Thompson with a second major in music. Congratulations. Ethan Wellington Slater with distinction and with University Honors. Congratulations. Michael Shinriket Ho. Congratulations. Kennedy Poro with high distinction and University Honors. Congratulations. Austin Pletch with a minor in human physiology. Congratulations. Yasmin Rose with University Honors. Congratulations. Andrew Edward Spreitzer. Whitney Ryan with high distinction and a technological entrepreneurship certificate. Lauren Razor with University Honors and a minor in mathematics. Lillian Audrey Rhodes with a second major in mechanical engineering and with a minor in mathematics. Congratulations. Caitlin Ryther. Congratulations. Shawn Rennegarbe with distinction. Tristan Rude. Kristen Elise Richardson with the minor in mathematics. Austin Silver. Congratulations. Matthew Stamos. Congratulations. Lindsey Ann Stickler. Congratulations. Callahan Morling with a minor in mathematics. Congratulations. Dakota Streit. Congratulations. Anita Tamavong Sa with a minor in physics. Congratulations. Rebecca Nicole Torres. Congratulations. Brett Stephen Vanderplug with high distinction. Congratulations. Spencer William Van Dorn with highest distinction, University Honors, and a minor in Spanish. Shipra Verma with a minor in chemistry. Congratulations. Katherine Waldorf with a minor in mathematics. Congratulations. Lucinda Williamson. Congratulations. Emily Lehmann. Congratulations. Kaylin Marie Slinsky. Congratulations. Olivia May Locks. Congratulations. Jamie Waite. Congratulations. Stephanie Waddle, with minors in computer science and mathematics. Congratulations. Adam Weiland. Grace Weiland, with a minor in human physiology. Congratulations. Ryan Wendland, with highest distinction, university honors, and minors in mathematics and chemistry. Congratulations. Adam Wilkinson. Congratulations. Brian Williams. Congratulations. Matthew Wiffler, with a minor in computer science. Congratulations. Kalen Timothy Zeller. Congratulations. Chen Jia. Congratulations. Xiao Yang Zhang, with university honors and a minor in chemistry. Congratulations. Colin Zweifel, with distinction. We will now recognize the new graduates in chemical engineering. Professor and Department Executive Officer Alan Guyman will represent the Chemical and Biochemical Engineering Department. Joe, you're first. Congratulations. Joe Ahern, with a minor in chemistry. Congratulations. Mackenzie Marie Cady, with a minor in chemistry and a technological entrepreneurship certificate. Congratulations. Benjamin Canby. Congratulations. Alec Craig Countryman. Congratulations. Michael Clark, with distinction and a minor in chemistry. Athena Lee Din, with a minor in French and a technological entrepreneurship certificate. Noah Gavin, with minors in mathematics and chemistry. Ryan Lammers. Thomas Hoder, with university honors and a minor in chemistry. Chandler Hames, with university honors and a minor in business administration. Blake Wallace. Brandon Ranieri, with a minor in chemistry. Cassandra Lee Joyce, with a minor in chemistry and a sustainability program certificate. Gabrielle Kershaw, with a minor in chemistry. Kyle Lorenz, with a minor in chemistry and a technological entrepreneurship certificate. Congratulations. Kyle McCarthy, with honors in the major and a minor in mathematics and a minor in chemistry. Emily Jeane Moore, with honors in the major, a minor in chemistry, and a sustainability program certificate. Ankur Parupalli, with a minor in chemistry and with university honors. Ojas Pradhan, with a second major in computer science, with high distinction, honors in the major, university honors, and minors in mathematics and chemistry. Diego Savadra, with minor in chemistry and a technological entrepreneurship certificate. Zichen Su with a minor in chemistry. Andrew Texter with a minor in chemistry. Congratulations. Christine Nicole Zarnecki with honors in the major, university honors, a minor in chemistry, and a technological entrepreneurship certificate. Taylor Witters with a minor in chemistry and a technological entrepreneurship certificate. Allison Marie Vasky with highest distinction, honors in the major, university honors, and a minor in chemistry. Hannah Jane Wasserkrug with university honors, minors in business administration and chemistry. Anne Marie Weber with a minor in chemistry. Adam Wise with highest distinction, university honors, minors in Spanish and chemistry, and a Grand Challenges Scholar. Cheng Hao Shu with minors in business administration and chemistry. Yu Hao Xia with minors in mathematics and chemistry. Dreaming Yan with minor in chemistry. Michael Stefan Zapeta. Zhao Yang Zhan with minors in geoscience and chemistry. We will now recognize the new graduates in civil engineering and environmental engineering. Professor and Department Executive Officer Alan Bradley will represent the Civil and Environmental Engineering Department. We will begin with the civil engineering graduates. Congratulations. Mitchell Paul Allenbach. Congratulations. Rachel Ann Beckler. Congratulations. David Alexander Brown. Congratulations. Noah John Decker. Congratulations. Elizabeth Fisher. Congratulations. Gary Warren Gifford. Congratulations. Paul Martin Hansen. Congratulations. Zach Heisterkamp. Congratulations. Shen Yu Hu. Congratulations. Yu Yen Chen with minors in art and mathematics. So Yang Gong with a minor in mathematics. Congratulations. Shelby Virginia Humes. Congratulations. Stefan Kaplervik with a minor in business administration. Congratulations. Alex Kraft with a minor in business administration. Congratulations. Ben Cruz. Congratulations. Logan Robert Kirby. Congratulations. Nicholas Lemkow. Congratulations. Andrew J. Kissimis. Congratulations. John Kopak with University Honors. Ty Michael Leibold. Lee Wiley with a minor in mathematics. Congratulations. Yin Jia Ma. Congratulations. Jem Chan No with a minor in military science. Guadalupe Munoz Rocha with a sustainability certificate. Derek Nebergall. Jacob Molden. Joseph Renard. Congratulations. Patrick Stelma. Congratulations. David J. Solis, with a second major in environmental engineering and a sustainability certificate. Noah Sultan. Congratulations. Abby Tubal, with a minor in art. Reijia Wang, with distinction and a minor in mathematics. Congratulations. Tanner Wynn. Vanessa Zaldivar. And now the new environmental engineering graduates. Zihan Wang, with university honors and a minor in mathematics. Oh, I made a little error. Apparently that was the end of the civil engineering, and now we've got the environmental. Is that right? Oh, I had it right. We just had one environmental engineering graduate. Okay. Thank you. It is a new major. We will now recognize the new graduates in computer science and engineering and electrical engineering. Professor Gary Christensen will represent the electrical and computer engineering department. We will begin with the computer science and engineering graduates. Jessica Elise Brown. Logan Brown. Tanner Bruncheon. Angela Bubby. Olivia Cook, with distinction, university honors, and a minor in mathematics. Congratulations. Connor Eschrick. Kevin Jordan Mattis, with a minor in mathematics. Catherine O'Haron, with a second major in biomedical engineering. Jianying Lee, with a minor in mathematics. Joshua Wooton. Ted Paulson, with distinction. Daniel Ali Mashlab, with distinction and university honors. Congratulations. Zuian Ru, with the minor in mathematics. Brian Matthew Schweer, with highest distinction, university honors, and minors in mathematics and Spanish. Kevin Bliharski, with highest distinction and university honors. Mario Torres, with the minor in mathematics. Zhi Wang. Tianjir Zhu, with the minor in mathematics. Tengku Alia Tengku Muhammad Mode, with a second major in business analytics and information systems. And now, the new electrical engineering graduates. Maria Ali, with a minor in mathematics. Congratulations. Skylar Chapman, with a minor in mathematics. Congratulations. Luke Burnett, with a minor in mathematics and a sustainability program certificate. Congratulations. Kyle Dorsey, with minors in computer science, English, and mathematics. Congratulations. Jacob Alexander Kowski, with a minor in physics. Kelsey Alexandra Culp, with minors in mathematics and computer science. Diego Castaneda, with distinction and minors in mathematics and computer science. John Jacob Danker. George Drivas. Congratulations. Brandon Garcia, with a minor in physics. Congratulations. Megan Elizabeth Moretti Hartree, with minors in computer science and mathematics. Samuel Heisel, with a minor in mathematics. Congratulations. Justin Haney. Chutong Jin, with highest distinction, honors in the major, minors in physics and mathematics. Congratulations. Morella Capo, with honors in the major and university honors. Congratulations. Tegan Keel, with minors in mathematics and computer science. Amanda Michelle Lasco, with a minor in mathematics. Congratulations. Daniel Levitt. Congratulations. Caius Kavalauskas, with a minor in mathematics. Shake your hand, okay. Clinton Tabbs, with a minor in mathematics and a technological entrepreneurship certificate. Congratulations. Kyle Levy, with minors in mathematics and computer science. Congratulations. Tina Chien Liu, with a bachelor's in mathematics, a bachelor's in actuarial science, distinction, university honors, and a minor in computer science. Seth Lopez. Congratulations. Lucas Ty Monaco, with university honors and minors in mathematics and computer science. Tamara Sakiji, with a minor in mathematics. Congratulations. Joseph Senchuk, with a minor in mathematics. Colton Sloan, with a minor in mathematics. Nora Stutt, with a minor in business administration. Congratulations. Shane Patrick Trouch, with a minor in mathematics. Antonio Washington, with minors in mathematics and computer science. Titus Weller, with distinction, university honors, minors in mathematics, computer science, and business administration. Congratulations. Yichan Wu, with a minor in mathematics. Pengyan Zihan, with minors in computer science and mathematics. We will now recognize the new graduates in industrial engineering. Professor and Department Executive Officer Geb Thomas will represent the Industrial and Systems Engineering Department. Congratulations. Zachary Thomas Allman. Congratulations. Luis Alvarado with a minor in Business Administration. Lamis Adi. Congratulations. Yasent Bajan. Congratulations. Zachariah Isa with a minor in Business Administration. Congratulations. Akshay Shil Patel with a minor in Business Administration. Jeremy Lawrence Burling. Daniel Benning with a minor in Business Administration. Congratulations. Matthew Coiner with a minor in Business Administration. Daniel Ellis. Congratulations. Bradley James Ertl. Congratulations. John P. Golick with honors in the major. Aaliyah Jones. Congratulations. Jacob Mueller with minors in Business Administration and Mathematics. Congratulations. Dennis R. Murphy. Scott John Soknowitz with a minor in Business Administration. Logan Michael James Steffens with a minor in Business Administration. Congratulations. Nathaniel Evan Stoyak with a minor in Business Administration. Isabel Maria Spera with a minor in Psychology. Austin Wojak with University Honors and a minor in Business Administration. Congratulations. Jason Wegner with minors in Business Administration and Mathematics. Congratulations. Kelsey Butterbaugh with minor in Business Administration. Jenna K. Davis. Ariana Kelly with minors in Business Administration and English. Karan Kadakia with a minor in Psychology. Congratulations. Blair Van Stalding with a minor in Business Administration. Congratulations. Landon Wayne Summers. Congratulations. Matthew Yazvek with a minor in Psychology. Congratulations. Benjamin Paul Etkin with a minor in Business Administration. Quentin Scholler with a minor in Business Administration. Donald Versalati. And now we will recognize the new graduates in Mechanical Engineering. Professor and Department Executive Officer Ching Long Lin will represent the Mechanical Engineering Department. Tyler Babcock with a minor in Mathematics. Congratulations. Royce Ahrens with a minor in Mathematics. Eric Brown with a minor in Mathematics. Congratulations. James Chenoweth with a second major in Biomedical Engineering and a minor in Military Science. Kayla Marie Denson with distinction and a minor in mathematics. Grace Edwards, with minors in mathematics and business administration. Michael Smith Fitzpatrick, with a minor in mathematics. Colin Jerome Flynn, with a minor in mathematics. John DeCecco, with a minor in mathematics. James Sean Foley, with a minor in mathematics. Jeremy Gill. Congratulations. Jesse Faust. Congratulations. Nicholas Garza. Congratulations. Jedediah Hagee, with a minor in mathematics. Nicholas Shanklin, with a minor in mathematics. Congratulations. Dallas Andrew Hagenbart. Congratulations. Adam Hoffman, with a minor in mathematics and a technological entrepreneurship certificate. Congratulations. Charlie Herbert, with a minor in mathematics. Congratulations. Tyler Anthony Seagroves, with a minor in mathematics. Congratulations. Madison Gravel, with a minor in mathematics. Congratulations. Tostin Casti, with a minor in mathematics. Congratulations. Nicholas Shaw, with a minor in physics. Patrick Madalinsky, with a minor in mathematics. Congratulations. Devin Zimmerman, with a minor in mathematics. Congratulations. Tyler Napper, with a minor in mathematics. Congratulations. Jacob Koch, with a minor in mathematics and a wind energy certificate. Congratulations. Jennifer Lipa, with a minor in business administration. Congratulations. Jesslyn Coughlin, with high distinction, honors in the major, university honors, and a minor in mathematics. Congratulations. Maxwell Walker Hammond, with a minor in mathematics. Congratulations. Emma Perry, with a minor in mathematics. Samantha Marie McElwain.
Get it, Sam!
Connor Neal Patrone, with minors in mathematics and aerospace studies. Jake Weiland, with a minor in aerospace studies. Congratulations. Zach Lowery, with a minor in mathematics. Congratulations. J. Michael Jasper, with a minor in mathematics. Congratulations. Christian Hellman, with distinction and a minor in mathematics. Congratulations. Cameron Michael Widener, with a minor in mathematics. Congratulations. Alex James Ritchie, with a minor in mathematics. Congratulations. Benjamin Stone. Shivashish Dwivedi. On the fly. Congratulations. Joshua Lee, with minors in mathematics and business administration. Congratulations. Nathaniel Marks, with minors in business administration and mathematics. Congratulations. Cody LeClaire, with a minor in mathematics. Congratulations. Danielle Wolf with the minor in mathematics. Congratulations. Corey Andrew Michelson with the minor in mathematics. Congratulations. Eric Kraus. Congratulations. James Niketa with a minor in mathematics. Congratulations. Anthony McMahon. Congratulations. Victor Nee with the minor in mathematics. Congratulations. David Tra. Congratulations. Alice Shao with the minor in mathematics. Congratulations. John Dominic Aducci with the minor in mathematics. Congratulations. Nicholas Kelly. Congratulations. Miguel Camarina with a minor in mathematics. Congratulations. Roberto Torres with a minor in mathematics. Austin Dean Verwers. Congratulations. Dakota Kayleigh Platt with a bachelor's in psychology and a minor in mathematics. Oh, congratulations. Stephen Pitts. Congratulations. Chris Quinlan with a minor in business administration. Congratulations. Peter Rethwish. Congratulations. Rachel Russell with a minor in mathematics. Congratulations. Michael Hadachek with a minor in mathematics. Congratulations. Winston Wallingford with a minor in mathematics. Michael Swafford with a minor in mathematics and a naval hydrodynamics certificate. Congratulations. Christopher Carl Sullivan with highest distinction, university honors, minors in computer science, mathematics, business administration, and Spanish. Liam Sharkey with a minor in computer science. Congratulations. Sean Patrick Ulrich. Congratulations. Jacob Dylan Vandenberg. Congratulations. Wei Ho with a minor in mathematics. Congratulations. Hui Yuan Jin. Congratulations. Hao Sean Yu with a minor in mathematics. I know it's going to happen. Everyone's going to clap a long time for you. Xiang Zhu with a minor in mathematics. Please join me in congratulating everyone for their hard work and accomplishments. It seems like just a minute or two ago that I met all of you when you began this adventure we call Engineering at Iowa. I know I speak for others in the college when I say that we have immensely enjoyed the opportunity to spend these years with you, and we wish you all of the best. You will always be part of our engineering family. Please keep in touch.
Now, graduates, we have just one last assignment for you. Please turn your tassels to the left side of your caps, and you're officially alumni of the College of Engineering. As engineers, you're equipped to make essential contributions to this nation and the world. You have a responsibility to bring your talents, understanding, and expertise to bear on the problems facing the world. I hope you will be guided by the highest of ethical standards with great respect for the environment and a genuine commitment to human values. We all wish you the greatest success in your career and in your future. Yeah, that's... So I want to thank the entire audience for being here today. Please remain seated until all of the graduates have finished ascending the stairs. Thank you very much.